All right. Hello. Good morning, all who are here. This is Amy Sousa, and I am on the Known Heretic channel. I am here with K.Yang, who is the artist, activist, and writer behind the Stop Female Erasure website, the Deprogrammer YouTube channel, and Instagram. We are here today in support of April Morrow, who is the founder of Sovereign Women Speaks. She was also one of the organizers of the Tacoma Let Women Speak tour during JKJ's tour of the United States. And during this tour, she had her hand broken at the event by an adult male activist named K.Yang. Will you jump in with that name?
Elijah Lane.
She is today. She will be in court. She has been told, of course, to refer to this man using wrong sex pronouns. So that is also a concern of ours. And I would like to start by sharing a little bit from April herself. So I'm going to put this up. And this is a video that April made herself. And hello, everyone who is arriving. I see you all. Radical Cartoons via 555, Cheese and Onions, Leslie, Sabine, Mary Ross. Welcome, welcome, everyone. Patty. Hey, Laura. Okay, I'm going to share this.
Morrow, the founder of Sovereign Women Speak. Last October, I had the honor to host Kelly J. Keane from the UK in my home and organize her Let Women Speak tour for Washington State. I chose the Tolson Plaza after the Tacoma police reassured me they understood this was not a matter of if they would be needed. They understood my request was essential to avoid another round of male violence against women for speaking in public. Upon arrival, we were shocked to see children off campus holding signs along the side of Antifa, parents, teachers, and school officials. They were all organized as a team.
Be also in what the climate of what's happening in the U.S. Anyway, back up.
Meet the unhinged onagynophilia with a schoolgirl fetish. This is a small example of his misogyny. Them saying we brought violence to children is their attempt to fool the world and silence women. My full live stream on Sovereign Women Speak Facebook page is crystal clear evidence of their terror, violence, and gaslighting. They scream no hate here, yet so many of them spit at us. Spitting on another human represents a deep level of contempt. I see our women preparing to leave, and I realize I need to get in and retrieve my items. As I walk past these two men, I have no idea that they plan to attack me.
They're attacking April. Oh my God. Yeah, down there. Go help her, Ryan, please. Get them up from the middle where those boys are. They stole her stuff. Those boys are...
The pain was excruciating, and I didn't realize I was in shock. However, my sisters did, and they all took very good care of me. They called the medics, helped me file a police report, and got me home safely.
First name is April Morrow.
I'm a 57-year-old woman who's had a double hip surgery. I have fibromyalgia. I attended yesterday as a woman who wanted to speak out against what's going on in the prison system here. We have pedophiles, we have rapists, and we have serial killers inside the women's prison. I showed up to speak about that. I spent $300 on signs and staked them into the ground. I was there as a journalist with my phone on a pod, just trying to get the footage. I am not a violent person at all. When I showed up and I saw the kids up above, I thought they have the right to be here. That's fine. Everything's cool. But then as everything started and our speakers began to talk, the first one, they came down from one tier after another, pulled out our signs, stomped on them, picked up the stakes, threatened them with us. encircled us. This was very scary. I've never been afraid of a group of children in my life. I am a teacher. I have taught in Tacoma. I've lived here my entire life. I have never witnessed such violence from children like that. I saw people be spit on. I saw water bottles being thrown. My phone was grabbed and my hand was crushed and it is broken and I no longer can teach dance. I was thrown to the ground. The police were called 23 times telling that women were being assaulted. The principal of the school did nothing. Women came there for freedom of speech, and it was shut down by these students. We are not a hateful group. If they would actually just listen to us, they would see how much we care about children and what is taking place. And if we could just be heard and not shut down. I don't want to be afraid to live in Tacoma. I don't want to be afraid as a journalist. I don't want to be afraid as a woman. I have the right to speak in public without being threatened and bullied and pushed to the ground and my hand broken. Do you not agree? I don't even feel safe living here anymore. Now, every single one of your students know my face. I have been threatened. They were all happy that I was hurt. Every person I walked by was cheering that this 57-year-old disabled woman was hurt. That is sadistic. Thank you. Women won't leave. Stubborn women speak. Women won't leave.
All right. Thank you all. That was a message from April Morrow, who is the founder.
Working backstage, I needed a moisturizer that would immediately.
Oops. Have to press stop on that. Okay. We don't need to hear that commercial. So that was a message from April Morrow telling about the events from her perspective, and also sharing that she went to the school board meeting to speak directly to the school and to ask them to take some responsibility and ownership for how they allowed their students to behave. What I saw on the ground that day, I was there in Tacoma that day, as many of you know, and the adults, the teachers, the principal were actively enabling students to behave this way. They were encouraging it. I saw a woman give students jugs of milk. These are basically cream bombs. They're little shaken up paper things of whipped cream to throw at people. Those did not actually end up getting used, but I saw a kid with his pockets full of them, a student, I should say. These are young, very, very tall, 16, 17-year-old students. So these boys are, they are not adults, but they are very big. Mm-hmm. So the young, I believe the one who attacked April I believe he is not a student. I believe he is an adult man.
The man who attacked April is an adult man named Elijah Lane, and he's 27 years old, is the reported age that we have for him.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, just I see you have a comment, Laura. K.Yang signs can be seen at Stop Female Erasure, stopfemaleerasure.com.
Yeah, actually, if you want signs, just email me at the deprogrammer@protonmail.com. I will set you up with the private link to view all of them for free. You can print them off yourself. There's no charge for the signs or anything like that. So you're welcome to that. Just send me an email.
So right now we are waiting to go live. We will have Dawn Land, who is a woman, part of Sovereign Women Speaks, a member, and she will be live streaming for us in Tacoma. But of course, we are here to witness. We're here to be in solidarity with April Morrow, and we are going to talk a little bit more about what Sovereign Women Speaks has done. I think you saw in that trailer, there are a lot of actions that have happened. Sovereign Women Speaks has had two conferences now on behalf of women. They have included workshops, panel events, talkbacks, as well as protests from the prisons. There is a correctional facility in Gig Harbor, Washington, where women are being housed with men. Women have been raped at that facility. One of the main points of activism of Sovereign Women Speaks is to be in solidarity with those incarcerated women in that correctional facility. There are letter writing campaigns that you can become a part of. There are a number of ways. I'm going to put up the Sovereign Women Speaks website so you can see how to do that. And K.Yang, I believe you had some more information to share with us about that.
Yes, I have actually. I I have a full write up for April that I want to share with everybody because
Thank you.
I really want to stress how important it is to support April at this time. Not just because of all the work that she's done, and she's done so much of it. You're going to hear a lot about April's organizing on the West Coast today and organizing on behalf of incarcerated women and bringing together women from across the country. You'll be hearing about that, but also it's important because women are being criminalized right now for speaking in public. Women are being threatened and harassed. Women are being assaulted and facing violence for speaking out. So anytime a woman is attacked like this, it's important that the rest of us come to, to lift up her voice and provide support and backup and show that we care because, nobody wants to be left hung out to dry, right? We're all working really hard on this issue. We're not being paid. We're doing this out of the kindness of our hearts and because we care. Women who are risking their personal safety, their access to employment, their personal standing within their families and communities. We're risking all of these things. And in order to be able to do that, we need to build a community of support so that women know that if something happens to them, they're not just going to be forgotten and left to fend for themselves. So this is part of why we are doing this live stream today and why we're trying to coordinate with women on the ground in April's direct, immediate local community so that we can build some visibility and support for what happened to her. And I know that there are some other women in our broader networks who create media and focus on news content creation. I know that some women have already reached out and are going to be interviewing April and trying to highlight her voice. If you're watching and you're a woman that has a platform, please reach out to speak with April. You can interview her. You can interview other women at Sovereign Women who work around this issue and are directly supporting April. We have to be our own media and our own network to get the word out about what's happening to women in our organizing spaces. So with that all said, I really want to highlight April and her work. As Amy already said, April is the founder of Sovereign Women Speak. She holds annual conferences in Washington State, and she's been bringing together women from all across the country in sisterhood to build a resistance against this ideology, which we know is harming the planet, women, and children at large. April is in touch with and supports over 200 women inside the Women's Correctional Facility in Washington. And if you've been following this issue, you know that the women there at Washington Women's Correctional are being forced into cages, locked in with men, rapists, serial killers, murderers. They are being locked in with these men who claim to have a female identity, which we know is not something that is possible. So April has been instrumental in connecting with these women on the inside and building support for them, connecting them with women on the outside who are doing advocacy work. So this is really important stuff that she's doing. She's held 11 different direct actions exposing the state of Washington for what they are doing to incarcerated women at Purdy Prison. 11 direct actions. That's a lot. And I just want to stress for people who haven't been involved in organizing on the back end of it or boots on the ground activism, it's a lot of hard work. A lot goes into it that isn't seen. There's a lot of time and energy and stress and persecution and money goes into it. So for April Morrow to have done 11 direct actions exposing Washington State for housing men in Purdy prison with women inmates, that's a huge feat that she's done. I mean, that's massive. At the first conference that April had in Tacoma, I was one of the invited speakers. And April flew a plane over Purdy prison, and it had this massive banner. It was huge, and it said "Sovereign Women Demand Single-Sex Prisons." This flew over all of downtown Tacoma, and people all over the city saw that message that day. And that was thanks to April. And she commissioned that plane personally out of her own pocket as well. When we were there that day outside the prison, women inside were so happy that we were there. We could hear them cheering and calling out to us, thanking us for being there in support and solidarity with them. Ava Park, who is the founder of the Women's Museum, she spoke and led us all in a beautiful message where we gave our support and our energy and our love to the incarcerated women inside. April was there through all of that. She coordinated everything. She brought Ava there. She brought all of us women there to protest at Purdy prison. It was an amazing event. There's a video about it on the Sovereign Women Speak YouTube that I made that shows all the women there. It highlights some of the speakers, including who spoke. Lauren Bone spoke, Kara Dansky spoke, Beth Stelzer, founder of Save Women's Sports, spoke. We had some incredible women there that day, so please go and watch that video. We might play some of it later on. Continuing to highlight some of the work that April has done, she testified against HB 1956, and what that HB 1956 does is hides from the public record the true sex of the men that are being housed in women's prisons. So, and this, everyone should know that this is what's being proposed now in New York State here. Amanda Stuhlman, the director of the U.S. director of Keep Prison Single Sex, who is based here in New York, she has been sounding the alarm that this is what's happening already in California and Washington State, the work that April is protesting, the stuff that Amy Ichikawa is protesting. They are bringing that here to New York State now. ABA 709, Assembly Bill A709 is being proposed, and it will do the same thing as HB 1956 in Washington that April testified against. It will hide the identity of the true sex of male inmates that are being housed in women's prisons, and it will allow all men to self-identify into female prisons. So please also go and see the work that Amanda Stuhlman has been doing. She recently did a mobile billboard action in Manhattan in front of the New York Times.
We have a live stream of that.
Exactly. Amy Sousa was kind enough, as always, to use her live stream as a platform to give voice to women who are doing these actions on the ground. Because, as you know, we are ignored by the mainstream media. We have been blacklisted. We have been silenced. We have been censored. And we are being erased from our own resistance. So we are the media right now. We have to keep lifting one another up and highlighting women in the grassroots who are working very hard and who are facing really scary repercussions for speaking out for women and girls. What happened to April? I mean, she has been assaulted. Her hand has been damaged. She has been irreparably harmed because of this man who was enabled to violence by the mainstream media that promotes this agenda, by all of the corporations and companies that are constantly promoting this idea that men have a right to be in women's spaces. So, I want to continue to highlight April because we are still waiting to hear from the women who will be live in front of the courthouse that's going to be happening. I'm waiting to hear back from Dawn right now. They are assembling their women and getting close. I hear that the road that they were going to be set up on is closed. So they're sort of resituating themselves, but we are in touch with the women on the ground. And as soon as they appear at the court, we will go live with them.
I just
Go ahead,
want to,
Amy, please.
yeah, I was just gonna underscore what you were saying about being our own media, and because I also saw Genevieve in the chat, I do want to give a great shout out to her specifically and to Redux. Genevieve and Anna Slats have done so much work covering the events, covering all events in that pertain to the gender industry and pertain to women, what is happening to women and girls. We are very lucky to have them as a resource because this is a truly woman-centered news resource. And the more that we can take advantage, amplify the stories that they're telling, this is incredibly important. And I do want to say, they have a great piece that they did about the Tacoma events. They covered them incredibly accurately. We are very lucky that they tell our stories. I do these live streams, but there's so much that they are doing, getting the full story, covering it from all kinds of angles, compiling multiple people's media, doing the work to compile all of the parts of these stories that are told. So, and if you look in this sort of sidebar area, look, they've got stories about, this TikTok creator whose car is vandalized, what is happening with when men are adopting kids. Yeah, her car was vandalized for she did a deep dive into Jeffrey Marsh, and her car was vandalized for it, calling him out for being a groomer, as he is, and inviting kids to come onto his platform to speak privately with him.
So this is another example of the lashback that women are facing for speaking out. What happened to this woman is just another example. She spoke out against Jeffrey Marsh, against child grooming, and immediately faced a punishment of having her vehicle attacked. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Amy.
So I really just want to, underscore that, people there, I think they're a great resource for a couple of reasons. One, they are telling women's stories, which is so important. But two, this is a great resource for women to use because a lot of times when we have these conversations, there is this sort of, this never happens adage. And so many times when I'm having that conversation with people and they tell me, oh, that was a one-off event, this really never happens. Ultimately, all that Redux does, it's an archive. It's an archive of every time these events happen. It's an archival resource documenting what is being done to women, and it's all in one place. So it's news for ourselves, but it's also an archive, a public record of the details, the gritty details of what are happening to women in public, what are happening to women in private, making these known, so it doesn't just stay, part of a social media timeline that you scroll past. They are making it archive. So I think it's a really wonderful resource for women.
And further, what Redux is doing is actually creating a historical record. And we know right now that women have been written out of the historical record. We can see that it's very blatant. I'm not going to get into the many different examples, but we can see it happening right in front of our eyes. right? I know that women that are watching and are on this call have been organizing and boots on the ground and doing stuff behind the scenes, spreading the word online, making videos, giving testimony. Women in these spaces have been doing so much work. And you do not see that reflected in the mainstream media, in the narrative that has been created that shows what the resistance to trans ideology is. That narrative is very controlled and groomed to look like a very certain thing. And it leaves out systematically the voices of the women who are on the ground, the women who are actually standing up for women's sex-based rights, for safeguarding for women, not just children. Children includes girls. Girls become women. So all child safeguarding must also include sex-based protections for women and girls. So you can see that right now in the mainstream media, the narrative is very controlled about who resists this. So what Redux is doing and other outlets that cover these issues, they are entering a historical record of what has happened, and it's running counter to the mainstream narrative that is erasing us. So
And
I can't highlight enough how thankful we are for Redux, for Genevieve Gluck, for Anna Slatz, for all of the women at Redux, Ava. Like, there's so many incredible women, and we appreciate the work that you're doing.
and I want to also point out, what Redux does, what Sovereign Women Speaks does, what K.Yang does, what I do. This is all independent. I think there is, I'm not going to stop Matt Walsh from speaking out about this. It is useful in certain ways. But I think a lot of times when people ask, like, where are the women? Well, women are at direct risk for doing this. That even that TikToker, she's doing it from the privacy of her home, but she faces personal risk. Her car was attacked. Her car was trashed. We face personal risk for speaking out. The men
Amy
who speak out.
Sousa was targeted. Amy Sousa, the known heretic, was targeted, hounded, and harassed by her entire town. They turned on her like she was a witch. Okay, they had a mob mentality against Amy for speaking out against this issue.
And we don't have billionaire black backers. Blaze Media, Matt Walsh and Ben Shapiro. Blaze Media has a billionaire boss. That's a billionaire owned company. So it's very easy for them to speak out from those platforms, and they don't risk anything personally to do it. But we do, and I think that is a huge difference, and it makes a big difference. Radical Cartoons, thank you for doing the work that you do. I saw Ella has an amazing platform on TikTok, on YouTube. Thank you for doing what you do. All the women who have channels, who speak about this publicly, who create analysis, who do the research, who expose what's going on. I thank you for what you do, because we really we collectively tell a story about ourselves from our own voices, from our own perspectives. Again, I don't want to stop, Ben Shapiro from speaking out on this to his platform, but he can't represent me. He can't speak my stories. He can't tell stories from women's perspectives. So we do need all these women to do this. And thank you, Radical Cartoons, for doing artwork for Keep Prison Single Sex. It's just absolutely one of the most important issues.
And we need to understand the level of control that is exerted over mainstream media, that's exerted over social media, the level of censorship that we are dealing with, right? This is why it's so important to have our narratives countering that and going against the erasure that's occurring. Because one thing that we know is that there is an attempted control of what of the entire narrative and what resistance looks like. That always happens with any social movement. I expected it. A lot of us expected it on the back end. It's happening now. So we need to continue to be aware that this is something that is at play, a construction of a narrative, and there are voices that have a lot of attention and views on them right now with a lot of financial backing, and they're going to be able to put forward their narrative in a way that unfortunately we are not able to. That's why we need all of us grassroots women work together, because just one of us can't go against this control of the narrative. It has to be all of us working in tandem to hold the line, because the reality is that most of the narrative of resistance is one that upholds the idea of true trans, that trans is something that is real, that some people benefit from so-called gender affirming cares and surgeries. And we know that that's not true. And the line for the women who are holding that line, and the line for child safeguarding, they're really, we don't have many women that have a big platform that do that. So, Amy is doing that here with her platform. There are other US women that are holding that line. Jennifer Billick holds that line. She uses the 11th Hour blog to speak on it. Kara Dansky holds that line. Kelly J holds that line as well. So, we need to continue to hold that line and work together despite our differences, politically, organizational, or otherwise.
Yeah. K.Yang, do we, just out of curiosity, do we have an ETA from Dawn?
She said, I'm finally here. She's finally here. They didn't know that the road was closed, so
okay.
they were stuck in some construction traffic trying to get to a different area. So
Ah,
that was 1 minute ago. I know there are a lot of people here tuned in. We are going to be bringing Dawn Land from the ground in front of the Tacoma City Court. She is with April Morrow, the founder of Sovereign Women Speak. They are showing up to support April in court today. April is going to court because she was assaulted by an adult man, a 27-year-old adult man named Elijah Lane. And as far as I know, what happened, there was one court case scheduled, and there were delays because of all various bureaucratic stuff delayed things. The prosecutor issued a continuance, so nothing has been heard by the judge at all yet. So today will really be the first time that, the record is being presented to the judge of what happened.
yeah.
We do know that April has been asked by the prosecutor to speak to refer to Elijah Lane, the man who assaulted her and crushed her hand, caused irreparable damage to her. The prosecutor has asked April to refer to him with she and her pronouns. Of course, that's not something April's not going to lie or perjure herself, because it is a lie to say that a man is a woman, and it is a man that assaulted her, and she knows that. So we will be supporting her to exercise her free speech, and to, like Amy says, we're supporting April to uphold her instincts and what she sees, the sights and the sounds in front of her own eyes. She knows it's a man. We know it's a man, and we're going to affirm reality. Go ahead, Amy.
Yeah, we have to stay grounded in the authority of our own bodies. So we have to name what we sense, the authority of our own senses, my own eyes, my own ears. This is my bodily authority, my bodily autonomy. And we cannot have boundaries or bodily autonomy, nor can we instill those things in children if we do not affirm them and ground ourselves in them for ourselves. So every woman who accurately sexes men, every woman who accurately grounds herself in the authority of her own body, this is the example that we set for kids. And I just wanted to briefly, since we have the time, speak to this comment that Genevieve put up. Of course, a lot of time feminism gets blamed, women get blamed. I think there's a lot of ways that feminism has been co-opted, but this is besides the point, because I think what we do need to do is, as K.Yang continues to underline, we need to point at the authors. We need to point at the agents. We need to point at the profiteers. We need to point at big, there we go, big pharma, big banks, big tech.
Corporations, United Nations, World Economic Forum.
Yeah. So regardless of what, women do or don't do, they are not the authors and the engineers of this. And I thank you. Yeah, Genevieve, I love this. I love all of Genevieve's work, looking at who is the author of WPATH, who are the men who are writing this, who are behind the scenes creating this, and also her work on porn, which is one of the major agents of propaganda, as Pornhub reported on their own yearly analysis. There were over 5 trillion hours of porn consumed this year alone. So if we want to look at that collectively over the time of its inception, that is so much, and it is a form of propaganda. Absolutely. Okay, we have Dawn.
Yes, we
All
have
right.
Dawn.
Hi, I am so sorry that I didn't get here earlier.
That's okay.
There was construction traffic everywhere. April, she arrived after me, and she's gone into the building. I've got Heather trying to get her to come back. She was anxious to get the baby out of the cold. So I'm standing
okay,
out
yes, of course, the baby.
Right. So I'm standing here in front of the courthouse. April has gone in, and the hearing doesn't start until 10:30. We'll have to get through security before we can get in there. But she's got Heather to help her and the baby with her. And here she comes.
Oh,
So
great.
Heather's got the baby inside, which is a good place for her. So here comes April.
Thank you, Dawn. Dawn, that's okay. Don't be sorry. We're going to keep talking with you in just a second. Let's get April in here. And Dawn, is it possible? I don't know if you can hear me, Dawn. Is it possible for you to turn the camera so that we can see, actually get April in front of the courthouse?
Well, it's upside down. Does it adjust?
Go ahead, turn it back the way you had it. That's okay. Perfect.
Do I need to unlock it or something? Maybe.
Nope. Can you get behind the camera and get a shot of April in front of the courthouse?
There we go.
April, can you move so we can see the courthouse behind you so we know where you're at?
Yeah.
Going a little bit with the camera angle. There's the courthouse. Perfect. April, you look beautiful.
Oh, well, thank you. I can barely open my eyes. The sun is like, woo, right on me. It's nice. It's beautiful. It's great. Okay, so yeah, I'm here at
Welcome.
the courthouse. Thank you. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate you getting my story out there. I'm at the Tacoma Courthouse. I am going to go in and talk with the prosecuting attorney and find out more about the request for me to be using female pronouns on the man who assaulted me and put me out of work. And I just want to say too that, when you have fibromyalgia, Elijah Lane, he injured my hand, and that had a dominoes effect. My right elbow now is blown out because of the overcompensating because of my left hand. My shoulder blades are out of whack, and I'm having to have massage therapy and physical therapy on different parts of my body because of this. So it's not just my hand. And at this point, I still don't know if I need surgery. The doctor is actually going over the MRI this week, and then we'll find out if my hand needs surgery or not. But even if it doesn't, visiting with the occupational therapist just 2 days ago, she told me that my hand is never going to be the same. that I'm always going to have problems with it. It's going to have arthritis in it, and she doesn't know if I'm ever going to get to the point where where I can close it again. The hand does not close, and so I have very little use of it. I want you to all know that there's no way in hell that I'm going to use female pronouns for a man. And if they are going to, I'm going to ask for an interpreter because I don't understand their language.
Love it.
And the other thing is this is being
I'm sorry.
as a fourth degree demeanor, and this should be a hate. This is a hate crime. It shouldn't be a hate crime. It is a hate crime, and it should be tried as one. And that's what I'm going to request, that the judge try this as a hate crime.
Wow.
Yeah, I think they can hear.
Can you hear with the?
I know we've got the whole leaf blower thing going on.
Of course.
Yes. Listen, hey Dawn, listen, we can hear you, but I actually think we could hear you better if you did put it back the way you had it before on selfie mode, and you stand next to April.
Oh, boss. Okay,
and then we can pick up better on the microphone, I think.
Oh, okay.
But we did hear you, April, and I want you to know, April, if you can hear us, you're getting a lot of support in the chat from women all over the country right now, and women outside of the US as well. Women are just so proud of you and in awe of all the work that you've done. They say that they are with you all the way. They love your t-shirt. It's a fabulous t-shirt.
I'm going to make sure that Elijah Lane knows he's never going to be any of these.
That's right.
That's right. So April, could you tell the people who are here listening today what it was like for you on the ground when you were attacked? I know it's a lot to get into, so only share, what you feel like you can deal with right now. But if you could give us a little bit of an idea of what did it feel like to be you, because we were all watching in horror. I mean, I was just absolutely horrified, shocked, and so scared for you. If you could tell us how you were feeling from your perspective.
Yeah, sure. It all happened so fast, but in the moment, with my background of having PTSD and former trauma and abuse by men, being thrown to the ground in a mob where there's basically a riot taking place, and you feel that whole entire mob around you, and you're on the ground as a disabled woman with a double hip surgery, fibromyalgia, and a lot of problems with my body. I just was scrambling to try to get back up off of that ground as fast as I could, because when you are encircled by a mob like that and you are on the ground, I'm going to tell you, it's one of the most terrifying things that I actually have ever experienced. So it took me a lot to recover from that, because it was very traumatizing. So literally it took weeks and weeks to where can you hear me okay?
We can hear you, but we could probably hear you better if the camera's on selfie mode.
I believe
He turned it off. Good. Okay.
There we go. Keep the camera on selfie mode and we'll be able to hear you better, I believe.
Okay, I'm so sorry. This guy is down here blowing the leaves, just doing his job, but he doesn't know he's trying to do this, so.
Well, because I can hear Dawn. I'm able to hear Dawn, but it's difficult to hear you, April. So maybe you need to hold the phone.
Okay. Can you hear me better now?
Maybe here, just take both of them, so then I won't hear, but I don't need to right now.
Okay, I've got both of her.
Oh, that's perfect.
Oh, that's way better.
Oh, wow. Okay.
That's great. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
And then, of course, he's turned it off, so that's good.
Good. Okay, so did you want me to repeat anything, or what did you do?
Could you go ahead, April, and let everyone know who you are, what your name is, where you are, and why you're there?
Yes, my name is April. My name is April Morrow. I am at the Tacoma Courthouse here for my hearing to to find out what they are going to do to the man, Elijah Lane, who injured me, crushed my hand on October 26th at the Let Women Speak event. And I'm going to find out just what they are expecting of me, because last time I was here, they were expecting me to use female pronouns for the man that assaulted me.
Mhm.
Of course, I am not going to use female pronouns for a man.
Mhm.
I'm going to stay out of cognitive dissonance and ask the court to do the same. And if they do use female pronouns for a man, I am going to request an interpreter because I don't understand their language. The other thing I'm going to be requesting of the judge is that they charge him as a hate crime, because this is a hate crime. This isn't a 4th-degree assault. This man has put me out of work. He has destroyed my left hand for life. He has triggered my fibromyalgia that just dominoed effect. All the things that hurt in my body now hurt 10 times, tenfold.
Right.
The trauma that going through of being down on that ground and being terrorized in a riot, in a mob mentality where people are spitting on us, throwing bottles and hitting us in the head and yelling and screaming and bringing all this violence about. When you're on the ground in a mob like that, I'm telling you, it is one of the most terrifying things I've ever experienced in my life.
Oh my gosh.
So, yeah, so definitely hate crime. I hope that I get out of the courtroom in time. You guys are still live streaming and I can give you an update on, what happens here. I probably need to get into the courtroom now because it's 10:15 and the hearing's at 10:30. So we should be making our way in there.
Okay, April, can you please let us know how can we support you?
You can go to my website, Sovereign Women Speak. You can click on my donate page.
I will be sharing the donation link with everybody in a minute when April goes into court.
It's up.
Great, thank you. The link is up.
Okay, and you can write letters. There are some people that are writing letters to the judge, to the court. Any woman that was there, especially, that would be very helpful. And just supporting me and hearing my story is a big part of it as well. So I thank you and Amy so much from the bottom of my heart for getting my story out there. Thank you.
Absolutely, April. And thank you for everything that you have done for women and girls collectively, for the women who are in this movement all across the United States, for the women who are in your life, because I know that you have a lot going on right now and you support all of the women and girls in your life and in your family. And you are an inspiration. We are standing with you.
Oh gosh. Okay, good.
Hi, I'm sorry. She had a phone call coming in.
That's okay. You are an inspiration to women everywhere. We are standing with you. You are not alone. Your story will be heard. There are so many people who care about what happened to you, and we are going to do our best to spread the donation link. And I know that there are amazing women who are going to work really hard to raise up this story and spread the word about what's happening to you. If we do not see you when you get out from court today, Amy and I will schedule another live stream with you where we can do an update on your case and do an interview with you in a setting where, there's not leaf blowers and like cars driving by.
That would be wonderful. That'd be great. Yeah, sounds good, Kat. Thank you so much, Amy. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Much love to both of you. And I've got to get in there. So we'll be in touch soon. Thank you.
Absolutely, April. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Dawn, are you there? Dawn. Hi, Dawn. Are you there? Hi. Are you going to go inside right away, or are you going to wait outside a minute?
I will wait outside a minute. Hang on, I'm getting my ears back in.
Okay, great. Hi, Dawn. I want to take a moment and introduce our audience to you, Dawn. Can I do that now? Can you hear us?
Oh, sure.
Okay.
Put this other one in. I am very sorry that I'm so terrible with that. I haven't done live streams really, so
Nope.
I apologize for all of my fumbling.
You're doing great. You're
Yeah,
doing
you're
great.
doing a great job. And that's the thing as well, is that this movement is made up of women who, yeah, we might not know exactly what we're doing at all times, but we're figuring it out and we're finding out, and we have tenacity and we're making things happen, even if we don't at all times have it perfect or know exactly what we're doing. The point is that we're putting in the effort and the time and energy, and that's what counts. So I want to introduce all of you today to Dawn Land. She is with April Morrow right now. She is part of April's direct support team locally. And Dawn, in her own right, is an incredible women's rights activist and advocate for child safeguarding. Absolutely. In 2017, Dawn worked on a Washington state initiative to keep locker rooms single sex, which we know is incredibly important. She has also fought to protect women and children against males in women's spaces and against the indoctrination of children with the lies of transgender ideology, especially the indoctrination that is occurring within our libraries, our public library system, and our public school systems. Absolutely. If you please go to Library Monitors on YouTube. So go into your YouTube search. Dawn Land's YouTube channel is Library Mom, Monitors, Library Monitors. And I actually came across Dawn's YouTube before I even knew who she was or knew that I had friends in common with her. And I was watching this woman's YouTube and I was like, I don't know who she is, but she's awesome because she keeps exposing this crap. And I was all the way across the country over here in New York being inspired by the work that Dawn was doing. Didn't even know it was her. Then April Morrow, April had the first Sovereign Women Speak, and I came there out onto the West Coast and met Dawn in person. And Dawn stood with us and the other women at Purdy Prison to stand up for incarcerated women. So everybody, welcome Dawn Land. Thank you so much for being here, Dawn.
And thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Do you you have the floor if you want to share anything about your personal work or why you chose to come to support April today. We're here to listen to anything you have to say in the time that you have, and we know you have to go soon.
Right.
Whatever you want.
Well, I'm here today because April is my friend and she deserves my support. So that's just the bottom line. But really, it's important that they see that women are supporting women from being erased and from being gaslit into using female pronouns for males that attacked her. I mean, I made some signs. You'll probably see those later. Working with or working against the lies of transgenders and the ideologies. Here's Beth too. Working against that, I have spoken and testified in. I don't think they can see it.
Yes, we can.
Yeah, we can.
Oh, yeah.
That's awesome.
Thank you. I have testified in legislatures. I know that you ladies have done that as well. I have testified at school boards, at library boards. I have been thrown out of places. They know me. In fact, not only do several school boards and library boards know and hate me for all that I fight against, but the state senator, I was in her district, they just did redistricting, and we suspect that my former state senator asked for me to be redistricted out of her district.
Oh,
because
wow.
because that's how much she hates me. The recent most
That's
recent
how
bill,
threatened they are by
yes,
the truth that you have, the truth that you have, and the tenacity that you have. They're threatened.
And I don't know why she thinks that would be effective, because it's not going to make me go away. I still exist and I will still not be silenced. So
That's right.
yeah, to put that into perspective, in the most recent bill, and Amy was testifying against this one too, the 5599.
Yep.
That state senator, heads that committee, and I'm the only one that she interrupted. to tell me that I need to speak to the bill. I'm the only one that she did, and that's how much she hates me.
Mhm.
And then one of the other legislators actually interrupted his final comments to tell me that I was rolling my eyes during the committee hearing.
Yeah,
So
No,
God
no,
forbid.
no eye rolling in the
yeah,
crowd.
no, I wrote. Well, he had just dropped the the BS statistic of suicides. That we have to affirm these kids in the trans lies so that they don't commit suicide, and it's a BS statistic that they try to brandish about like a weapon.
Mhm.
That's the same lie that Chloe Cole's parents were told, which caused them to affirm her, and she has no breasts now because of those lies. That's what damage the lies are doing to our kids today. Um, I
Yes, we know that these lies are causing irreversible damage to children all
absolutely.
over this country and all over the world. Alex Aaron with the Gender Mapper has mapped out all of the different locations across the United States, and she's working on mapping across the entire world to show just how prevalent these inhumane practices are, these practices of child abuse. So Dawn Land, thank you so much for all the work that you have done to bring visibility to this issue, to go into public spaces, to disrupt the narrative, and to be a voice of dissent against this agenda. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Can
Oh, my
you
pleasure.
turn?
I'll never stop.
No,
Oh,
we
yes.
know, we know. Can you turn the camera possibly so we can get a view
It
of the
doesn't. It
posters?
doesn't.
Oh, sure.
Can you show us the
Oh,
posters?
there.
Great,
Oh,
perfect.
can you hold up the other one? Also, are you able to? Well, don't hide your face.
Hi.
And that's
So we have
Darren Singh.
Yes, this is Beth Durancing. And she's here to support April today too. She showed up just as we were all talking. And so hopefully after the hearing, we can hear from Beth too, because she is a force to contend with. That is absolutely certain. So,
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much for Beth for being there, for holding up those amazing signs. Those are beautiful.
Thank you for being here.
One says, no woman should ever be forced to call her male attacker she. That is correct. For anyone just tuning in, April Morrow, the founder of Sovereign Women Speak, was assaulted by a 27-year-old male named Elijah Lane. He crushed her hand, caused irreparable damage, and now the prosecutor in the case has requested that April refer to this man with she and her pronouns. Of course, we are all supporting April to uphold reality and to defend the truth and herself. Amy, Sousa, take it away.
I was going to say, I just want to make sure these ladies know you have 2 minutes to get into the courthouse. I just want to make sure they can.
We do need to go because we have to get through the security to get into the courthouse.
So you have 2 minutes.
Okay, so do I need to press something to get out?
I'll do it. I'll do it.
Okay, you're awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Dawn. Good luck.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. So that was amazing. I'm really glad that we got to see April speaking, and I wanna make sure that everyone also understands that April arrived. April is right now the sole caregiver of her granddaughter. So April arrived with the infant with her. Heather Scalzi was watching the infant while we heard from April. Oh, hey, Heather's in the chat.
Yes, big shout out to Heather Scalzi. First of all, for all the work that she does. Heather does so much work behind the scenes with Turf Collective, with WDI, with various protests that have gone on across this country, with Sovereign Women Speak, with the prison issue. I mean, Heather is a force to be reckoned with. She has done so much, and a lot of it really occurs behind the scene, outside the spotlight. So a big shout out to Heather Scalzi for all that she does, and also especially for the support that she is providing for April right now. And Heather is taking care of April's infant granddaughter while April is in court. And Heather has created a meal train for April and the baby because, of course, they are in a situation right now. April has lost work because of the violence that she faced, because of the disability that she now has in her hand. Heather has set up a meal train. So if you are in our circle, connect with Heather. She can show you ways to help support April locally as well. And you can, again, go to the Sovereign Women Speak website where there is a donation button, and April has her story in her own words of what happened to her. You can donate there. And
I just wanted to just finish sort of underscoring that this is just another example of what it is to be uniquely female. There she is having to show up at court and bring her baby with her. And I saw someone make a comment about this earlier, and I don't remember who. I searched for the comment to put it up, but I think it's a really great point, because this is a woman who is the sole provider, and women, whether or not you are a mother, we must recognize that women are the first line of defense. Women are, whether we like it or not, women are the primary caregivers of children all over the country. As I've heard K.Yang say, the first family is mother and child. And it's great. It's great if there are dads in the pictures, but that bond between a mother and a child, that will never be broken. And
the mother and the child is the smallest family unit. Absolutely, there's an attack on families of all kinds in our country and around the world, but the attack is really being directed at the mother, because with the mother and baby, that is the smallest complete family unit that there can be. And of course, that bond needs to be broken down so that this anti-human, transhumanist agenda can continue to flourish. I want to also highlight and call your attention to Women's Liberation Radio News. They did edition 80, the digest of the Standing for Women USA tour. Thistle and I know Jenna worked really hard on that, and I think Emily Ann was involved in producing it as well. So go to Women's Liberation Radio News. They have an hour long digest that covers some of what happened from coast to coast on the tour, and within it, April Morrow's voice is highlighted. April tells a little bit of her story. Amanda Stuhlman talks about the prison issue. Amy, were you interviewed on that as well?
No,
you did a different one though around the same time.
Yeah, and if Elizabeth is watching, I owe her a call.
We're all trying to keep track of a lot of different things. This is what it looks like to do a grassroots movement. There's a lot of projects on all of our plates, and we're doing the best that we can. And I want to commend all the women for being here today. And I really want to commend all the women who showed up in person on the ground in each one of the different cities on Kelly J. Keen's tour. It's incredible that you all showed up. The fortitude that women showed in this country is just, come on. Women are pretty badass.
Peak Trans, you say that you are you're watching live from the courthouse. So if there is, can you link the courthouse link if you are watching the courthouse live stream? Because I think there's a lot of women who might want to go watch the court proceedings if they are streaming them. I didn't think of that, but if we can, we can watch it all together here in the live stream. But let me try and search for it myself. If you have the link, I would take it.
Yes, that would be great. Peak Trans, if you have that link, please share that with us. Amy will pull up the inside of the courthouse live stream, and we can all get a listen into what's happening in there. April was retelling her story of how horrifying it was to be on the ground underneath that mob. And women saw what happened to April all over the country, and they still said, I'm going to go out. I'm going to show up. I'm going to speak out and voice my dissent in public, despite seeing what happened to April. That takes courage. So just a thank you to all the women who had the courage to show up and be out there in person. It is not easy to put yourself in a position like that. And also thank you to Amy for exercising her instinct and showing us what it means to be embodied and act in your instinct when she, you know, a threat presented itself in Tacoma, and Amy immediately reacted and diverted that threat in an act of self-defense that was pure heroism. It was broadcast on Fox News, which was awesome. And if you haven't seen it, it's like one of the best clips ever. Amy's just like complete blocks this insane man who tries to attack the speaker in Tacoma. So she just did this incredible block. And we also had Gina Hoke also show us, I mean, super cat-like reflexes. She really, the moment that the threat was presented, she blocked the assault and she was able to defend herself. So this is all really important, that when we're going out into the street, publicly speaking and demonstrating on this issue, we know what we're up against, and women need to be psychologically, physically prepared to protect themselves, to defend themselves, but also always organizing in a way that puts the safety of all of the women who are participating up front and minimizes the potential threat of any violence is very, very important. So we all learned a lot. Bravo to April for, you know, standing strong in the face of the attack that she did. To Amy for stepping in and defending and protecting Lierre, to Gina for protecting and defending herself, and showing that women are not going to lay down and take it.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm looking for the court room right now. I saw someone put up that it's number 26. I was just gonna see if we could get it. Henke. Okay, Henke. Okay, I'm gonna look for that. If we can get this on the live, that would be great, obviously. Oh, except it says you're not allowed to record, which I guess we would technically be recording. But so I guess that's crazy. So you can't live stream it. Hold on. Let me look at this closer.
Okay, Amy's gonna figure it out for us.
Let's see what's legal.
It should be fair use, no? You would think.
Yeah, that's what I would think. Like, I'm trying to look at this. Okay, let me see.
So I just want to shout out some of the women in the chat. Darian is here. She said she didn't realize Amy's block was on Fox. It was, and it was awesome. We need like a GIF of that. Like, I don't know who makes GIFs, but if somebody could make one so we can just like respond when the TRAs like you know, threaten us. We just show we show that little clip on repeat. We have, who else is in the chat? You've got Turf Mail. She says that Amy is the Turf Matlock, trying to figure it out. Amy's on the case. T-Bay, we see you. Lindsay Piccolo, hello, welcome. Thank you for always being here. Marsha Matthews, good to see you. Let's see. Marsha also believes that this should be fair use. Hope that it is. Dawn Hankey is here. Belle LaCroix, Linda Law, Nina Trigg, Chicana Feminista, Ella Androphobia. Go ahead, Amy.
Did Heather say what room they're in? I saw someone say room 26, but I'm not seeing a room 26. Heather, do you know what room you're in? I'm going to write it in the chat.
Okay, great. And we have Rex Landy is here. Hey,
Yay.
Rex. Good to see you as always. It is so good to know that we have women all over the world who are standing up against this and holding the line. Every time I see Rex, I'm like, all right, we have a global resistance. She's literally on the opposite side of the world from us. She says that Amy looked like a caped crusader. Yes, she did. In her red jacket. That was awesome. Iconic image there. Ella is saying how awesome it was that Gina was so quick with her reflexes. That's correct. Jennifer De La Sega, one of the co-founders of Partners for Ethical Care, is saying that her neighbors were talking about Amy and Amy's efforts last night. So word is getting out. That's awesome. And Jennifer, as always, thank you for being here as well. Jennifer, of course, is one of the co-founders of Partners for Ethical Care. And there is an event coming up in Austin, Texas, April 20th. For all of you women who are working on this issue, this is going to be an incredible networking opportunity. Come down to Austin, connect with Jennifer and Alex from PEC. Some of the other members of PEC will be there. Myself and Amy will both be panelists on a panel exposing the gender industry in America. We will be joined, I'm honored to be joined by Jennifer Lahl, Candace Jackson, Miriam Grossman, Brandon Showalter, Alex Aaron, of course, from PEC, and the creator of the Gender Mapper will be coming all the way from Tel Aviv. We have Isabella Malbin from Whose Body Is It? She lives in Austin, but she's actually a New Yorker, so we claim her, but she lives in Austin right now. And she is going to be the moderator for the event. We're also going to have Barry Wall is coming. So if you don't know about him and his work either, he just did an interview with Benjamin Boyce, and he's been an ally in this conversation and in this fight. So please check out partnersforethicalcare.com. You can get all the info on getting your ticket to come down to Austin, Texas, network with all of us. And also there's going to be a rally the day after the panel.
Sorry.
That's okay. We're going to be doing what we do best, showing up publicly, speaking out and standing up for safeguarding for children and against this industry that is turning children into, cash cows and guinea pigs for big pharma that is causing irreparable harm to generations of youth in this country and around the world. So thank you, Jennifer De La Sega from PEC, for being here, for your support always. Amy, how we doing?
Okay, good. I'm gonna I think it was someone wanted to see. I'm still waiting. So basically I think I found it. I think I have it, but it hasn't started yet. So it's telling me my event hasn't started yet. So it looks like I have the right room, but it simply hasn't begun yet. But I was going to put up, someone asked for it in the chat.
Yep.
Putting up my blog.
Yeah, let's see it. It's great. It's a good mood booster, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's a little hilarious to me, but we'll watch it together. Okay.
And they've been largely successful. But that's why they need children. Children are the human shields protecting autodynophiles and worse from public scrutiny. What was once called transvestite fetishism was rebranded as transsexualism and finally cleansed into transgenderism. Pay no attention to the nonviolent curtain.
So we went back maybe a little far.
Well, you can't have them, especially you can't have the lesbian.
So here he comes. There he comes.
Get the fuck out of here!
No, not today. Not today.
No, not today. Not today.
Not today.
I love it. I need a photo of that. That's a really good freeze frame, actually.
It does look like a cape. My coat looks like
And we're laughing right now. We're laughing, and it's funny. It's amazing, but it's also was a fearless act of courage.
Yeah.
It was heroicism. What you did that day, you protected women from harm, and you acted out of instinct. And look at the power stance that Amy has in this image right now. Like, that is a power stance. That is a fully embodied woman. That is a fully embodied woman, right?
Yeah, yeah, and we'll make it. We'll figure out how to make it a GIF, Rex. But I do want to say I am laughing now. I'm laughing now because it's become really popularized in our circles, and it's myself. So it's just like, it gives you the giggles a little bit because you're watching yourself do something. But I do want to say that if my sisters who know me, my sisters were sports players, so I'm just framing this like that it was an
Her actual sisters,
my actual sisters,
biological sisters.
My biological sisters are sports players, and I'm not a sports player because I was too afraid of the ball. I was too afraid of getting physically harmed. I did things like dancing and singing. I was in theater. I didn't like to put my body in harm's way the way that my sisters did. So this is just to underscore. Oh, I'm hearing myself echo.
I don't hear it.
Okay, good. Well, so this is just to underscore that it was a real instinctual response. I didn't think, oh, now I am going to go forward and walk. I simply responded to the moment. I was in my body. I was grounded. I was paying attention to my surroundings, and I responded. And this is why I do say, and I do underscore that these live events are not for everyone. Previous to who and how I am now, I have in the past in my life been in trauma and been in a trauma response. And that would not have been a good time for me in my life to go to one of these events because I was very dissociated from my body at those times. So I've done a lot of work. Now I am an embodiment expert. I've done a lot of work to be grounded in my body, to be present to my intuitions, to my instincts, and to be really present and grounded in my surroundings. So I am proud of it because it's a testament to the work that I have done, the work that I have put in. That didn't just that would not have been possible for me to do 10 years ago. 10 years ago, I would not have been. I may have gotten attacked myself because I was very dissociated and out of my own body. So this is a testament to one, if you are in trauma, you can come back from that. There is growth and work that you can do. And two, it is very important when we go to these events to be grounded, to be present, to be responsive to our instincts. So, yeah, I really it tickles me a little bit to watch it, but it is a very real moment, and it was a very real response to my own instincts.
Yeah, thank you so much, Amy, for sharing more about your experience. And I was going to say what was going through your mind, but we've talked about this so much before, and actually nothing was going through your mind. You were acting out of instinct.
Yeah.
Just like Gina did.
Yeah. And the way this functions, and I've talked about it in my live streams before, but our cognitive capacity is secondary to our primary instincts. So those instincts are first: fight, flight. That is first. That's a primary response, and the secondary response is mental, to analyze the situation. We make judgments about the situation after the fact, but it's secondary. It's secondary to that primary embodied response.
Amy, do we have any update on if we're going to be able to?
I'm gonna go back there now. I am gonna go back there now.
Okay.
I'm gonna try all these links once again.
While Amy is looking for that, I want to just highlight as well, if you haven't read Amy's Substack article yet on sex mimics, You really need to. If you like Amy's work and you come into these chats and you like the things that she says and it resonates with you, go to her Substack, become a subscriber, check out the recent article that she wrote on sex mimicry. It's amazing. It provides so much framing and it goes into the type of depth that we really just can't get into in a live stream, that she can't get into in tweets. You know, this is long form content and her expertise really comes through and shines. So I recommend everybody go and check out that article. And also, Amy, I see you've put out like a couple of short videos on your YouTube the last couple of days, and I've been listening to those. Those are really good, and those are quick, short things that you can share with women who are starting to question this agenda. So check those out if you haven't. Do you have an update about the court?
It doesn't say, and okay, let me go. I'm gonna go try one more thing. See, it says it's telling me that this judge, so I know what room she's in. It tells me what room she's in, but when I go to the feed, you know what I'm gonna try? I'm just gonna try one more thing, which is to put
Okay,
this.
Amy, you go ahead and hold. I draw people's attention on the screen. I have sovereignwomenspeak.com. This is April's organization. She is the founder. This is her website where she has information about some of the work that she does and the women who work with her do, and some of the events that they have put on. Here is where you can donate. So if you go to the Sovereign Women Speak .com, you'll come up to the homepage. Oh, my internet is of course being weird right now. Well, at least the live stream is still working, it seems like. You can go to sovereignwomen.com, click donate at the top of the page, and this is how you can make sure that if you want to support, that money gets into April's hands, to literally in her hands, to support the physical therapy that she is going through. When I spoke to her the other day, she'd just gotten back from her physical therapy appointment and they told her that she's going to need to go there 3 times a week. And it is a very long, arduous process, and it's painful as well. And all of this, she is paying for everything herself. So if you want to help her cover her medical costs, or if you want to help put food on her table, not just for her, but again, for her infant granddaughter, who she now has the sole guardianship of at this time. So please donate to support April and her granddaughter. It's crucial that we show up for the women who have consistently put in the work and taken the risk. And not only has April come out against risk, now we all witnessed what happened to her.
Yeah.
We all witnessed it. And I just think about, God, what if that was me? What if that was you? What if that was any of us?
Yeah.
We
I don't know, because I imagine that the court, that it is happening and it's not letting me into the virtual courtroom. So it maybe is because we're live streaming. But I'm not able to get in. I keep clicking on the link and it keeps telling me it hasn't started yet. So I don't, and the other ones, when I click on them that say they have started, it's just like a weird loop. So I don't really, it's like I don't know. I don't think we should
Yeah, so that's okay. If people want to go over and listen to what's happening in the courtroom,
let me put in the link to it, because
Mhm.
maybe I'm just going to put up this link, and then maybe it will work for other people. Maybe it will work when you're once you're not on a live stream. But that supposedly is the link to the live inside the courtroom. So maybe it will work for some of you. Maybe we'll have to watch on our own. Oh, thank you, Elizabeth. Yeah, I've been having fun making those shorts. They're pretty much little snippets of things that I always say. But
Elizabeth.
they're in little bite-sized chunks. Yeah, that's what I'm getting the event saying it hasn't started, but it seems confusing because we know that they are inside the courthouse and it's been a half an hour. So it seems like it should have started. So I don't know.
Let's shout out Elizabeth, who was also there in Tacoma with you all. And
Mhm.
Elizabeth was featured in Kelly J's documentary. She has a great little bit in there. So be looking for Elizabeth when you watch it. I know, let's see, K.Yang, holistic detective and spellbreaker. Nice name, little long, but nice. She was also there. I believe that's what she had said up in the chat above. Who else was there, Amy?
There was
I want to highlight Kat Turvins. Kat Turvins was there, and it was Kat Turvins who actually captured the footage that you saw in April's video that Amy played at the beginning of the live stream.
And Kat's footage was also the footage that is used in the KJK documentary. So that's the footage that you see. It was her footage that made it into the film. So that was really cool.
And when you hear, "Oh my God, they're attacking April! Go help her!" That's Kat Turvin's voice.
Yeah.
So shout out to her and Kat's really amazing artwork as well.
Yeah. Kat, I am holistic detective and spellbreaker was there. There was yeah, there was another, I'm not gonna, let me see. There's another woman who was there whose handle on Twitter is Roaring Turf. She was there. Candace Mercer was there. Beth Dancering was there. Dawn Land, of course, was there. Carol Dancero was there.
She does incredible work too.
Let me
Amy, let me cut in for just a second. We have a message from Heather Scalzi. We are waiting, but it seems there is going to be a continuance. Mr. Lane did not show. Okay.
So that's
our
why
update.
That's why we're not starting.
So Elijah Lane is the 27-year-old man who viciously assaulted April on film, of course, assisted by the entire frenzied mob that was encouraging the violence. That's another thing. Like, why is just this one guy being charged? There was a whole group of people there encircling April, encouraging the violence. Anyways, so we're getting this update from Heather Scalzi right now from the Tacoma court saying that there's going to be a continuance. Elijah Lane did not show up. I wonder if it's because he's incredibly ashamed that he disabled a grandmother, that he permanently injured and disabled a grandmother, because he should be ashamed. We cannot allow the creation of a society where this type of violence occurs and is condoned. And, you know, when silence on the issue occurs, that you might as well be condoning it, right? Silence is complicity. So it's really important that we're highlighting what happened to April.
We summoned her.
Yeah, yay, she's here. Oh my gosh. I did not think we were going to see you. I don't normally see you in the live streams. That is so cool. And Kat also has her own little baby at home that she is loving on and taking care of. So, you know, our movement, our American women's movement, is made up of incredible women and mothers. Women like Kat Turvins, who she has showed up on the ground protesting across the country. And, you know, she was there to capture that footage of what happened to April that day. That is evidence and documentation of the punishment and the lashback that women are facing for standing up for our sex-based rights in the name of total erasure with the trans agenda. And also, you know, it's So a big shout out to Kat Turvins for what she did, and shout out to all of the women, not just here in the US, but we are building a global resistance, right? We've
Yeah.
got
I
Ella
want to
as our
say,
resident like
yeah.
Canadian envoy.
I was gonna say, and we have women here from, I've seen women, so Ella in Canada, I've seen women here from the UK, I saw Scotland, I saw Australia, I saw New Zealand. So, you know, that's one of the things that K.Yang and I have done that I'm very proud of, among many things, I guess, that I'm proud of, is to help foster a community where women can have their voices heard. It's really absolutely my pleasure to not just talk at you, but to be in conversation with you. So I really appreciate how many comments we get during these chats, because I love putting them up. I love responding to them. I am gonna do. I just have a lot of things on my plate, ladies, but I want to do more of the live call-ins. That was really one of my main pleasures during the tour, was to do the live call-ins. And we did have Rex Landy on, which was amazing. We've had her in the call-in before. I also want to thank Ella, since she happens to be here, for being one of the hosts of those live streams. She hosted multiple events for us. So that really helped at times when,
Ella stepped in
Mm.
when I couldn't be there because I had a baby hanging off of me. So, and again, highlighting that our women's resistance, we have children and babies and families all around us. So child safeguarding must include sex-based protections for women and girls. And anyone who says that they are standing up for child safeguarding and against grooming, who does not incorporate an understanding and protection of sex-based rights for women and girls, they're simply misguided. Well, that's one thing. So we need to continue to focus child safeguarding and women's rights together. These two things are not in conflict. These are two things that must happen in tandem.
I want to do a live call out. Not a happy call out, but I want to do a live call out because I think it's really important. I cannot pull up my Twitter right now. Twitter is having, oh wait, I can pull up my Twitter right now. Okay, so good. So I am going to pull it up.
We're going to do this right now.
Well, okay. Okay, I won't.
We're an hour and a half.
Okay, yeah. I'll save it. I'll save it. You're right. I'll save it. Well, you can look at my Twitter and see what I've been talking about on Twitter.
Please look at the Twitter. Get informed. Get up to date.
I'm just kidding. You're making me spicy. You're making me feel really spicy.
Well, it's just,
like,
you know, it is what it is. We've got babies, we've got children around, we've got mothers, we have pregnant women. Child safeguarding and women's rights cannot be separated. These are literally one and the same.
Yeah. So I just, any organizations that do not care about women's safeguarding, that's a problem. Mm-hmm. That is a problem.
Heather is saying, we've got Heather Scalzi is still here giving an update. She said, dude just said Miss Lane. So it seems like somebody in court referred to Elijah Lane, the 27-year-old man who irreparably damaged April's hand. Somebody in court is currently right now referring to this man as, quote, Miss Lane.
But when we just saw him in that footage, so wait, let me go. I want to look at the footage because it's just ironic to me that he's claiming this now, because in the previous footage of him, here we go. I'm gonna, oops, come on, no. In the previous footage of him, they were all happy. He did not. He was not positioning himself as anything other than what he is. Here we go. So I'm just gonna put. Oh wait, hold on. Yeah. So this is just this kid that's just a kid, you know, or a young, that's a man. That's a man.
A
You know, that's
27-year-old.
that's not someone who is trying, who looks, I mean, obviously it doesn't matter. Obviously it doesn't matter if he, you know, claimed he was a woman or not. But I'm just saying it's very convenient that now he is claiming he's a woman. I mean, people say no one takes advantage of these, but look, it's when it's convenient for him to be a scary man, then he's a scary man. And when it's convenient for him to claim that he is something else, then he claims to be something else. So this is not, women, on the other hand, cannot turn off being a woman. I am on my period right now. I am a little bit uncomfortable, to be honest. And if I could turn off the uncomfortability, I would. But it is not something I can get away from. It is here. It's with me, whether I like it or not.
Mm-hmm. And the uncomfortability that women, incarcerated women, are facing, being locked into cells with murderers and rapists, is something that is also a uniquely female experience.
Mm-hmm.
Women are being locked in these cages with male predators because they are women.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, and again, to remind everyone, April Morrow, the founder of Sovereign Women Speak, some of the work that she does directly involves connecting with incarcerated women. She is in, April is in touch with and supporting over 200 women inside the Purdy prison, where they house serial killers with incarcerated women. So so please support April. Go to sovereignwomenspeak.com, find the donate button, send her, you know, $5, $10. I know that everybody's struggling right now. It's a hard time for everyone with the economy and all the crazy things that are being flung at us. But, you know, if you can donate, you know, $10, $20, even $5 helps out. So please support April. And I want to say as well, you know, if we don't support women who are doing this work, that's how we turn around one day and say, wait, where did so-and-so go? Because I had multiple women in the past 2 days ask me, where's Beth Stelzer? Why can't I find Beth on Twitter? Where's the Save Women's Sports page?
Yeah.
And unfortunately, Beth is no longer publicly, you know, in the public eye around this issue right now, because she was receiving so much attack for doing the work that she did. Public attack, legal attack, financially, it was becoming insane. So she did as much as she could, but she asked for support from the movement, and that she could have gotten a lot more support. We'll just put it like that. She needed support, and she could have gotten a lot more. And you know, I respect the choices that she has made for herself and her family. But Beth ignited American women's resistance. Beth Stelzer created Save Women's Sports in 2019. I met Beth in person when Save Women's Sports, she wasn't even sure if she should do it. And I said, absolutely, you should do it. And nobody knew who Beth Stelzer was at that time. No one ever heard of the deprogrammer or K.Yang. We were just two random women. And she took that website of Save Women's Sports. She turned it into a national platform for American women, for female athletes. And she turned it into a platform to sound the alarm what's happening to women and girls all around the world. Beth Stelzer is an American hero. She is a legend, and she is an internationally recognized women's rights campaigner. And we love and respect Beth, and we want to make sure that other women that come to the table with the type of genuineness and you know, the want and desire to protect women and girls, that those women are supported so that they can have the longevity and stay here in this movement with us, and that so women aren't getting burnt up and used up and thrown to the side. That's not what we're trying to cultivate here.
Yeah, and now we see Riley Gaines has been speaking out, which is
Yeah,
amazing. We were there supporting Riley in Atlanta, thanks to Beth.
yep,
And now Riley is speaking out. So Beth's legacy has inspired women to continue. We will forever be grateful to her and for the organization of Save Women's Sports. So I think what we will do now is say thank you all so much for showing up and being in support. As I have said before, as K.Yang and I repeat, witnessing is just as important as acting. The women who are able to be on the ground actors, we need other women to be witnesses, to be present, to see. We need to see one another and see what each other are doing. So many times we get asked, where are the women? Why aren't they speaking up? But, regardless of whether or not Matt Walsh sees us, we see one another. We witness one another. The role of the witness is incredibly important. It is incredibly, incredibly important. So I thank you
yes.
all for being here and witnessing. So what we will do, it looks like there will be another court date scheduled. We will be there for that court date. We will do this again. We'll do
Yeah.
take two. We will take two. So we will try this again, and we will hear how it goes.
And I want to
You.
point out what Radical Cartoons just said, that
Yes.
Beth Stelzer and the platform that she created with Save Women's Sports, that is now being built on by Coach Linda Blade, who, of course, as you know, Coach Blade was also one of the integral members of Save Women's Sports, and she is just a powerhouse voice on this issue. Go on to Twitter and follow Icons, and you can
Yes.
find it first through Coach Blade. She's at Coach Blade. So go find Icons and make sure you're keeping up with where the fight is now to save women's sports, because it's still happening and they need eyes on what's happening over there. If you are out there and you are in New York, this is a call out for everyone in New York. Anyone listening in New York, email me at thedeprogrammer@protonmail.com. I'm sending out free stickers for all New Yorkers. We have got to start spreading the word. Okay. I've got stickers, all kinds of different designs. You guys have seen this kind of classic one. A lot of people love this one. Is great for women's bathrooms. Women's spaces in general, but free stickers for all New Yorkers so that we can start spreading the word about what's going on here, especially in the wake of what Amanda Stuhlman, the U.S. Director of Keep Prison Single Sex, is highlighting right now. We have proposed Assembly Bill A709 that is it's going to allow criminally insane men to self-identify as women and come into New York women's facilities. Self-identification and also covering up the past of a man's true sex. So that's going to be taken away, just like it has already been in California and in Washington State. And you see what is happening there and what that has resulted in. So we need women in New York to start spreading the word about what's going on here. The fact that they're doing this to us here in New York, and they've already done it in Washington and California, signals to me that they are going from coast to coast, and they're going to do this across the entire country. So we need all hands on deck to oppose New York State Assembly Bill A709. Follow Amanda Stuhlman, Keep Prison Single Sex, on Twitter, and get updates.
We will likely live stream that hearing as well. And I do want to remind women that anyone, well, actually, I don't know the rules in New York. In Washington, anyone can testify. In Texas, anyone can testify. I don't know if you know what the rule is in New York. Can anyone testify? We'll find out.
Yeah, Amanda Stuhlman's going to give us all the information on what we can do to help support this. And also follow Jay Thomas, Jennifer Thomas at RevFem Street Beat on Twitter, and also Brittany, a Slightly Twisted Female on YouTube. These women are helping to organize a public demonstration that will be April 7th in Trenton, New Jersey. I'm going to try to be there, but those women are definitely going to be there, and they are going to make sure that there is a record of our public dissent. We will not stand for this. So find a way to support. There's all different kinds, women. Keep up the good work. Thank you all for being here.
Thank you all for being here. We see you all. We appreciate you all. We will be back with you very soon. Stay connected. All right. Bye, beautiful ladies.